Woo woo! Here we go. Hey, it's Brent Attaway with CRMX, and we're here for another CRMX Cash Clinic. And we've got some special announcements today too. So buckle up. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, I'm going to announce some pretty cool stuff today for CRMX and where we're headed for the year of 2024 and how we're going to go about doing it. And plus, of course, the main topic today is to talk all about how to use email to your advantage. And I'm going to show you one very specific email strategy that you can use in your business. This is whether you're like in home services like solar, or if you're a coach consultant, it doesn't really matter. The point is when you're using CRMX or any email kind of service, you want to do this campaign, you want to do it right. So I'm actually going to show you several things that you can do for your business email strategy that you're able to get more leads, nurture those leads, and get them to say yes to any kind of offer that you have going. So as I go into this, I'm going to take a step back and just say this. There is some prep work that we're going to do today. I'll show you some of the things you can do inside of CRMX to make sure your emails get delivered and get opened and get read and get replied to or clicked on. Okay. So let's just talk about some of the fundamental things about emails. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If you don't know what CRMX is and you're watching this on, we stream this live. We also stream it to our members. So if you're a member, let me welcome you first. You're a member. Thank you for being here. If you're a CRMX member, if you have a CRMX subscription, that's awesome. We're so glad you're here, and we're here to support you. This is one of the ways we do it. If you're not, then become a CRMX member and go sign up for your free trial. You'll see what it's all about. You'll see our amazing team welcome you and get you onboarded and get you started with the world's most amazing and best CRM that you can get your hands on for your business to grow it, scale it, and even sell it. Okay. So whether you're looking to sell or not, that's no big deal. In my opinion, everybody should be looking for an exit strategy of some sort. Real quick tip. Ready? This is a little ADD moment for you guys. If you haven't been looking at your business this way, there's a couple exits that you have in your business, and it doesn't mean you have to sell your company. You ready for a tip real quick before we go into email marketing? Is that okay with you guys? Yeah. I wish I could see your faces sometimes where we're like nodding. Yeah, that works. Corey, what's up, man? Great to have you here. Corey Finney, good to see you. I should say good to have you here. I don't see you, not yet at least. But yeah, if anybody else is here, go ahead, type your name in, say what's up, tell me your name. If it doesn't always show up here in StreamYard, the webinar platform I'm in, even if you are logged into like Facebook or whatever, you might see your name, but I don't when I'm doing lives like this. Type your name in, and it helps me talk, helps us have a conversation back and forth. Also, this is a Q&A type training session. So that means when you're watching me do this and I'm showing you the format and the blueprint of things, go ahead and ask questions. I'll get to them. I'll show them on screen. I'll show you. I'll answer the question if I can. Most of the time I can. And I'll show you what I would do based on your question. So what's helpful too is not everybody is in home services. Everyone's in solar that I've worked with, in CRMX especially, and more people. We have several people in CRMX that run events, that run coaching programs, that are fitness coaches, that run franchises, that have schools like homeschooling. Like there's so many people using CRMX at this point from different backgrounds and different business models, that it's not just home services. So I expect your questions. I get that you have questions. So please don't be shy. Type in any question. I'm here to help you. Okay. All right. Sweet. Yeah. Hey, so Corey, just real quick, happy to finally plug into the Wednesday event. Great to have you here. I'm looking at my other screen, guys, when I'm looking this way to see your questions. Hey, and you said, I didn't know they were recorded, so I'd like to know where to access those. Yes, you can reach out to our team and we can do that. But where you access these is if you're registered, you'll actually get, if you register for these through StreamYard, you'll actually get the recording automatically. You don't have to, Corey. I'm just saying that's one way. And then the second way is actually we post these and they stay on our stream. So if you go to wherever we stream it, like on my Facebook page, you can see any recordings in the history. You can also see them on our CRMX Facebook group. They're in there as well. We stream them there. And that's probably where I would say get them where there's a good history of them, Corey. And we create a library in there as well. Also, our YouTube channel. If you're better on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel. You'll see all of our lives and the recordings there. Cool. All right. Let's get started. We're going to get into a major email strategy, and make sure you guys are sending emails using email. Most people, here's the problem. Most people think that email is dead or doesn't work, and nothing is further from the truth. I've trained on this several times. We even talked about this in CRMX Cash Clinic. So let me just remind you, email works. It's still the number one medium, a medium being how you communicate. So text message, email, phone calls, in person, a sales letter that you send out, direct mail, all of those options. Email is still the number one way that transitions people from conversation to sales. Okay. Gets them in sales mode. It's one of the best platforms to still use and to reach widely. And the most volume of sales still goes through email. Isn't that crazy? So across the board, all the way through, from e-commerce to brick and mortar stores, to coaching services, to home services, it doesn't matter. Email is a tool. One of the things that I see people fail at, and they don't even know they're failing at until I bring it up. So let's just get this out of the way. If you're not building your email opt-in list, your subscriber list, people who said yes to some kind of free offer that you give to get them to subscribe to your email list as a prospect, not even a customer. If you're not doing that, it's a huge mistake. It's like the good old saying of, hey, like, what's the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 20 years ago. You should have been doing that. Same thing with your email list. And if you haven't been doing it, well, start today. Start with something. Start offering a free newsletter, a free guide, a free book, a free something that people can say, sure, you know what? I like Corey Finney's style on how he explains XYZ. I know it's in solar, Corey, for you, but still. Or your business should be offering that in this case. So your business can offer a free guide if you're in solar, for example, a free guide on how to check your electricity bill to see if solar would even be a match for you. You just take a different angle. You don't just say, see if you qualify for solar, opt in here. That's fine too. But whatever you're offering for free, these guides, these free, they're called lead magnets. You can throw ads, you can put them and run ads on Facebook or whatever to these lead magnets. But the point is this: you're always getting opt-ins. People are saying, here's my name and email and perhaps phone number. And you're building that list of people who are interested in receiving information from you. Now, here's another reason why people don't do that. It scares them. I get it, by the way. I get it. Like when you're first getting started, it's been a couple decades now. It feels like, oh, it's not quite a couple decades. Let's see, since 2006 is when I started learning this in my brick and mortar store as a sign company that I had. So I told you this works with anything. I started realizing the more people that opted in and became part of my list that I could then market to. I own that list now. They're in my world. That they will actually respond to my emails, and I can give them offers. I can run promos. I can give them just valuable content for them to read and understand. And the more valuable I am to them through email, the more they are responsive to my emails. The more I just beat them over the head with emails with offers and saying special thing, click here now, buy now, the more they run away. Interesting, right? So, Brent, what are you telling me? I can't send offers? No, I'm saying there's a ratio to this. By the way, the quick tip is for every 5 emails, and there's several ratios out there. Let's just keep it simple. 5 emails for every 5 quality value add emails that don't have any offer in them, then send one. So send one offer email. So 5 emails, you can break it down and teach on a topic. So if it's the new year right now, you're talking about with homeowners and you're emailing them, give them tips on how to run their home more efficiently, what to check on their HVAC system, what to do XYZ, what tools they could look at, saving money on their power bills. And you're just giving them tips, small little snippets. And then on the 6th email, let's say you send one a week. So on the 6th week, go ahead and send them a very direct offer. Like, hey, As you know, we do XYZ thing. Did you know that we have this special promo going right now where you can get this for XYZ reasons? I don't know what those are. I'm not going to go over your offers right now, but that's how email works. This is how you should be using emails. Pretty simple. Get people to opt in and then send them out. Now, I'm going to show you in CRMX. I'm just trying to get the verbal out to you here, and I'll show you a visual how I look at this and map it out. Okay. And then I'm just going to show you a very specific campaign. I thought, look, there's probably at least a dozen things that I can teach you in email marketing and using CRMX to do this, but that's just too much. There's a lot of overwhelmed. So why don't I just teach you one thing you can be doing right now with your emails, a specific campaign to your lists and get results. Okay. All right. How's that sound? Cool. All right. Let's go for it. Let's see. Corey, before I jump in, what's the name of CRMX Facebook group? Can't find it. I'll get it for you. It is, if you go to good old Facebooks. In fact, I will have our team reach out on Corey, so I don't get distracted on that. But it's a great question. Yes, it's a private group, so you have to request to join. You need to be a CRMX member to join it. But yes, it's let's see. I'm going to post the link here. I'm going to post a comment in here. Let's see if it actually posts correctly. I know you probably have to like type that, but you can join the group there. CRMX members. Okay. It's facebook.com groups, but if you just look up CRMX official, you'll see it. It's titled CRMX official community is the name of the community. Cool. All right. Let's jump in here. Man, it's acting like my internet just went crazy, but I'm still live. So let's do it. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Woo. Here we go. I am going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to map this out for you guys. You ready? So let me know when you're seeing my screen. Here it is. Here we go. Boom. Bam. Bam. And as always, let's turn and make sure this thing is snoozed off. I forgot to do that. So let's just snooze it so we don't get any interruptions. All right. I like to use, if you haven't been with me on these, I love using my good old whimsical. These are little mind maps that I like doing. And to really illustrate, before I dive in to the CRMX stuff where you get technical and it can feel a little overwhelming, let's just break it down on the email strategy. Let's call it this. Okay. So what you want to understand with your emails is just the basics here. So email strategy. And this is when I'm talking, I mean like email marketing. Okay. So the first thing before, I'm not talking tactics. Strategies and tactics are two different things. Strategy is a plan. It's understanding how to make it work. It's the long-term play, what you're going to do with it. Okay. Then our tactics are how we go about doing it each day, each week, each month. Good. So just strategy for now before we go into tactics. I would suggest you always do that in business, please. All right. So, and by the way, if you're the person's like, no, just give me the action plan, guys. I get it. I'm with you on. I'm one of the best at jumping from the plane without a parachute and building the parachute on my way down. I get that, but I have learned that it is at least have the strategy of how you're going to build the parachute on your way down before you jump. Okay, so don't just start doing shit. Do smart stuff. Actually know what you're trying to accomplish, and you can change your plan as you go. But it's the same with email marketing strategy. Let's at least know what we're trying to accomplish here and what things we need in place to make it work. Good strategy. First, you are going to send emails with the goal of what? I'm gonna lay it out here for you. First, they need to get delivered, like into the inbox, right? So they don't go. There's things that's called like hard bounce and things like that. Hard bounce simply means those emails are old and don't exist, or they opted in with a false or fake email or the wrong email with a typo on accident. The point is, a hard bounce is not going to get delivered. No one's going to see it. So you can deliver. Let's imagine you have, you know, uh, a uh, 10,000 emails of contacts. These are real people that have opted in. Well, imagine that they're not even getting delivered. It's useless. So you're going through all this effort and you're not even getting them delivered to the inbox. So that's first thing. There's other things when I say delivered, but I mean it gets to their inbox. Now it might be in their junk or spam folder. That's still delivered. That's not our prime spot. We want them coming in to their inbox, right? Like we call this like a safe sender list. Like, hey, I know who Corey, since you're here. I don't know if you're here still, but let's pretend you are. um, since you're here, I'm going to say, okay, Corey, people, when they see your email, they mark it as, hey, I want this to arrive in my inbox now, even if it did reach junk or spam. So there's things you can do to do that. But the point is, the strategy, the goal here for this one little piece, first, we got to get it delivered. So let's keep it simple here. After delivered, what else do we want? We want them to open it. Okay. They need to open the email, open. And then after they open, what do we want them to do? Well, it depends. Sometimes we don't want them to do anything, but ultimately, like meaning we just want to give them information. That's okay. It's a value-based email. But if you're using what I call and what I've learned from Dean Jackson as the super signature, then you're actually being smart and always have a call to action under the radar. But let's say, assuming you have a call to action on a super signature or just something where it's a straight call to action, ultimately you want it delivered, opened, and replied or clicked. Okay. That's it, guys. Like, let me just break this down. Email delivered. You need them to open it. Then you need either reply and or click, because you have some kind of call to action for them to reply to, or to click on this link to go get this offer, or to go check out this free thing I have for you, to come to a webinar, or to register for this live event, or to take this free quiz to help your home qualify for XYZ thing. That's what you're doing. Emails, you're just doing this. That's all the game you're playing. So from there, your strategy is, how do I get this to always happen at the highest rate, right? Right? Like, that's the goal. Get them delivered, opened, and replied or clicked at the highest rate possible. What I'm showing you is going to help you do this, but I want you to relate it to this. Let's say you've knocked doors. There's a lot of door knocking in home services, and you're out there knocking doors, and this would be the equivalent. The person that's going to knock doors and is a medium. They're just a lead generation mechanism. If you're the door knocker, I have straightforward news for you. You are a medium. Yes, you're a person. Yes, you're a valuable person. But let me be frank with you. You're just out there to generate leads. Okay. And sure, you might be able to close a sale on the door. But first, you got to, just like emails, you got to show up at the door. That would be the equivalent of being delivered. Now, here's the thing. They open the door. Okay. And then after they open the door, you need to deliver a message, like the email that got delivered, that gets them to engage and reply with you, or take your call to action, which is to book an appointment or to buy this thing. Most of you, it's book an appointment. Some of you, if you're selling a small, low ticket item on a door, in this example, it might be buy this thing right now, sign up for pest control, security, things like that. Sometimes you can get them right there on the door. They just met you and they'll even sign up. That's great. But email is the same. It's just another medium. Think of that. It's like showing up at the door. You don't even show up. Okay, let's say you got yourself to get out of the door, or excuse me, out of the car. You parked your car and you're finally in the neighborhood. You're about to knock doors. Well, the first thing is you got to knock, right? So that's getting delivered. Then you got to get them to open that damn door and actually listen to that first sentence coming out of your mouth. Okay. And then you get engaging with them, and it's a script that gets them to reply or click. It's the same game you're playing. Email is just a different medium. So don't limit yourself to just one medium. Use email. Okay. This is the goal of getting them to do this. By the way, in the email, let's talk about this. How do we get them to open emails? The subject line. You got to get good. And when I say you, it can be your team. It could be whoever's writing your emails. It doesn't have to be you. But by the way, if you're the business owner listening to this, you should understand the basics of email. These are the basics, fundamentals. So that way, when you're talking to a team that's supposed to be doing this for you, you know what the hell they're talking about. And you don't just trust them blindly. You understand that emails need to get delivered, opened, replied, or clicked. Good? And you can talk to them intelligently. All right, cool. So subject lines are what get people to open their emails. But first, again, delivered. We'll talk about some of that. I'm going to go into that in CRMX. I'm going to break it down to the minimum things you need to do in CRMX to get them delivered, to make sure you're getting more people, not just hard bounce. That's the easier one to overcome, but junk and spam, staying out of the junk and spam folder as much as possible. You'll never, ever get to 100% out of the spam and junk folders. Never. It's just that game is always moving. They're called email service providers, ESP. And that's like your Gmails and your Yahoos and your whatever's, your Hotmails and all that, right? And they are always changing the algorithms and the smart, and especially with AI now and things they have integrated into it. They're trying to just deliver emails that are valuable to their end user, the person logging in, and they don't want your stuff that seems spammy and junk to annoy people of their email, because they want people to log into their email. That's how they stay in business. Okay. Using their tools. So there's ways around this, and making sure you're staying valuable and not arriving in the junk and spam folder. Okay. And then, of course, arriving in the inbox. So opening, the goal is your subject lines. Get good at it. These subject lines need to be compelling. Let's just write some of this down so we're on the same page. They can spike curiosity. That's one of my favorite ones. You can do some fear-based ones, and I don't mean scare the shit out of them. I just mean fear-based, like, hey, have you some of the best topics that you can lead with, or 5 things to watch out for when with termites in your home, or whatever it is. Okay, but it's a little bit fear-based, and it even will spike curiosity, but it leads with fear, as you can see. Curiosity, how I define that, one of my favorite ones, is just to keep the email personal. So it sounds personal. So a lot of the times it'll be like, Corey, did you see this? I mean, it's simple, right? I'm not saying that should be your only email you send, but that's pretty straightforward. Corey, did you see this? See what? Or Corey, about your home in Santa Rosa. That's a little more personal. They're like, well, what about my home in Santa Rosa? So that's what I mean by curiosity. I'm not going to go into a full thing on this. I'm just showing you, this is what I mean by subject line. Okay. There's full trainings you can do just on subject lines. Not necessary. Replied, that means somebody's actually replies interested in your offer, or just replies to ask questions, something to engage them. Okay. And clicked is usually some kind of special offer or register for a webinar, or download this free guide or cheat sheet. So they're already on your list. I get that. Maybe they got on your list by downloading a different guide and cheat sheet. But remember, the strategy is here to be valuable to them. And so you need to keep delivering value, some other kind of guide, stay in front of them. You need to become their best friend when it comes to value regarding their home. They know you as the solar company that delivers value, or the fitness coach that always delivers value, and they don't feel like you're always pitching them and annoying them. It's always becoming the welcome guest, not the annoying pest. Okay. So I'm not going to go deeper into this. There's several other things we could probably touch on, but now that you understand what I'm talking about, okay, let's dive in with, besides the emails, the goal of doing these things, which is delivered, opened, replied, or clicked. Then how do we go about doing that? What do you do in CRMX to make that begin to happen? Okay. So let's go through the flow of let's go context here. Here's the flow. Ready? So let's say you run ads on Facebook. Okay. Basic. They opt in for a free cheat sheet to save. Cheat sheet to let's say it's the winter. Let's think of something. There's a lot of freezing going on. So you can give a value, like a very contextual free guide here. It's in context during the freeze. Okay. Cheat sheet on how to avoid freezing your pipes. I'm just making something up, guys. This kind of It's kind of funny, but you could actually go with that, throw it into ChatGPT, and really get some good ideas on how to create a good guide on what this would be. 5 steps to doing that. By the way, just a quick tip, like five steps. Like adding a number helps people. That's good. How to is always a good title. 5 steps on how, or 5 steps to avoid, right? Just giving you little tips here. But you're offering this from here. Notice I'm not going straight for the throat, by the way. Just as a side note as well, like don't go into like buy solar now. If you're running ads to cold traffic to buy solar now, you're paying way too much for your leads. One, you're not going to be able to break even ever, and you're going to think leads don't work. Well, no, your lead strategy sucks. Okay. So let's assume your lead strategy is awesome and on par, and you're giving away free guides. You're going to get opt-ins. So now they opted in. Guess what? That means they gave at minimum a name and an email and maybe a phone. Okay. You're not trying to get too much. The rule of thumb, if you want more opt-ins, doesn't mean they're quality opt-ins, but if you want more, let's say your goal was just quantity, so you can follow up with them later and get them to qualify later, then ask for less. Just name an email or just email. I don't love just email. I like having their name. So there's some kind of like personality behind it when I email them in the future, like hi, Bob, instead of hi. So phone number is a good one to have. So you can also text them as well as one of the mediums. But let's just say in this strategy, you name an email they opt in with. Okay. They get your guide. Now they're on your list. That's the context that I'm talking about here. But here's the thing. You're building this list, right? This is the goal. Let's turn this green since that's our goal. And you have something running to get these leads. This is just an example, guys. You don't have to run necessarily just ads. You can be out knocking doors. You can get referrals. You can do things. But one of the fastest ways to get a good list, this goal, is to run ads to some kind of free guide. Okay. Some free, easy to consume 5 minutes, download that thing and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Glad I downloaded it. On with my day, right? On with scrolling through Facebook. Okay. But now you can follow up with them. All I wanted is some information so I could add value, show them that I have something to add to their life and home or whatever. And then later, as I add value and build trust, so they know, like, and trust me more and more, then they will buy from me. Okay. And I lead them down our sales path later. Got it? That's the goal right now. That's the context I want you to understand. Well, did you know in CRMX, you have a tool, the CRM will literally, by the way, it even has your Facebook. You can connect Facebook to run your ads. Now, you're not running ads from CRMX, but you can connect Facebook to it and see your reports right there inside of CRMX. Okay. And then you can build a lead funnel in CRMX. You can build unlimited funnels, marketing funnels. So you don't need like a ClickFunnels or anything like that. This builds it and it's amazing and it does a great job. We have templates in there, so you're not just wondering how to do it. There's all kinds of great tools in there. So now you can build the lead funnel with a guide. Then you can do an automated, and then you can also do forms on that funnel. So where they fill out the form, they put their name and email. You don't need like Typeform or anything else like that. The form's already built in. You put them on your page, they opt in, and guess where they arrive? Inside of CRMX. They're sitting there. You have their name and email now. Now you can email them on your list every week. Okay. So that's how we're building this. You don't need any, CRMX does all of this. You don't need anything. There's also automated workflows behind this. So when they opt in with their name and email and they're on your list and you send them the guide via email, let's say you deliver the guide to them after they opt in, you say, here it is, click here to download. That email in the audit is automated and it goes out automatically. You can build all of this. Those are called workflows in CRMX if you didn't know. Good. Everything's in CRMX. Now that you understand the context, now you understand the strategy, let's see how that looks and how that works. All right. I'm going to check questions. I don't see any. Okay, cool. Remember, ask questions. If you have any question at all, there is no, like, I don't expect you to know anything about this. I'm going to pretend like you're brand new to this, and most of you are, and ask any question at all. How do you build forms? How do you build a landing page? Where do I find funnels inside of CRMX? How do I build a form in CRMX? All these questions, ask them, please. Anything at all. I'm going to assume one of your questions, if you don't know what CRMX is, you can go get, I just put a banner, a scrolling banner at the bottom here, like at the bottom of the recording or the window here. It says free trial to CRMX at crmxfreetrial.com. crmxfreetrial.com. You can go get a free trial. Okay. All right. Now let's dive in to the good old, I'm going to take this off my screen for a second. Take a breath, take a drink, and I'm going to share my screen with CRMX. And we're going to dive in to the nuts and bolts of this thing. All right. Told you earlier, it was my internet act like I broke it, of course, but I think it's there we go. Now I'm loading back in. Let me get to my demo account so I can show you some cool stuff on what you need to do. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. You guys see this? Here we go. So this is a demo account. I'm going to show you just some of the first steps. Now, I'm going to flip back and forth between these two tabs here so you can understand really what I'm doing. I need to first make sure things get delivered. Remember these? Delivered, opened, reply.org, clicked. So let's take care of the delivered goal. First of all, when you get in CRMX and you haven't done this yet, go to your settings, please. Then you're going to go into your email services right here. You'll even see this pop up now and again. Hey, boost your email deliverability. Like we're showing you the tips in here. You can create a dedicated domain. This is going to help you stay not hit the junk and email inboxes, or excuse me, the spam boxes so much. When you sign up for CRMX, I know this sounds weird. Like you are going to integrate your email, your domain, like your company domain, like solarpros.com or fitnesscoach.com, whatever it is. Okay. And you have your website. You probably already bought the domain, hopefully, like GoDaddy. You can buy a domain for your company and you have a website. But your emails, you might be hosting through like Google email or something like that, right? Well, you can integrate this system, CRMX, with your domain so that when you send emails, it's coming from your company domain. Okay. You have to integrate, you have to tie it together. CRMX does not magically know that you have a domain, okay, or even a company. You have to tell it. And here's where you tell it in the settings. Okay. So you say add service. This doesn't cost anything. Okay. Or not add service, excuse me. Let me go back. Add your dedicated domain. And all you do is come in here and you type this in. Now, here's the key. Listen up carefully. It gives you an example. It says lc.mydomain.com. That's important that you have this right here. This little thing, these two letters, it doesn't matter if it's two letters, but that example is important. You don't want to just, if you're solarpros.com, don't put that in here. That will break your current email and override things. Okay. So what I mean by that, your current email, the ones that you send one-off emails from your Gmail account, like your business account, whether you use Outlook or Gmail to host your business emails, you want that to keep working just as is. So what you create is it's called a subdomain. Sub is these two letters before, or these two things before the dot here. So I'm going to just say, I like to just default it as mail dot, or you can say email dot, or whatever it is. Okay. Well, let's just go with mail.solarpros.com. That's it. All you do is type it in. That doesn't need to exist. You're creating it right now. This URL needs to exist right there, but you're going to create a sub domain, right? Or a sub domain name, right? Like this, mail.solarpros.com. And then you're just going to say add and verify. From here, you're going to say continue. You can see that's the URL. And then it's going to ask you, and I'm not going to go through the rest of this because you can ask our team. I just want to show you you're doing this. Okay. You can ask our team, and it's going to, the domain doesn't exist, by the way, like on GoDaddy, for example. So it's going to have me, I have to follow this little help video to understand what all these weird record and host and required values mean. It's actually feels really programmer like. I'm not a programmer. This all confuses me, but I do know how to copy and paste things. And so this video will walk you through how to do that. By the way, if you're on GoDaddy, you can, like, one of the domains I know on my GoDaddy account are, let's see, I think I own like random ones like lucky.solar. Let's see if this shows up. I'll show you an example of how simple it is if you're on a verified one, like if it recognizes where your domain's registered, like GoDaddy. Watch what happens. Let's see if I can get it here. Yeah, see, your domain provider is GoDaddy. Cool. All I had to do is click authorize domain. It'll have me log into GoDaddy. I say yes. It's just like when you're connecting anything else. It has you log in and says, okay, press the button. It presses the button. It waits 30 seconds and says, voila, you're done. And you're done. That's it. That's all you'd have to do. So let's pretend this is done. Okay. Just know that this is not required. But I would act like it's required. Okay. It's not a absolute must, but it should be in your business. So if you're a CRMX client, do this. Make sure you have a dedicated domain, is what this is called, for sending emails. That helps with deliverability. There's some other things that we could probably do, but that's the first thing I want to make sure technically is out of the way. Any questions on this? Let me know. But this is the technical, boring part. Just see how easy it was. I put up settings, email services, add a dedicated domain. I typed email or wow, mail dot, and then my domain, and then I hit add and verify. Okay, so that's all I did. Pretty simple, not hard. Point and click, press buttons. Good. All right, now let's go back. We need to get them delivered. That's what we were just talking about. This will help get delivered. There's other things that we can do to get it delivered. I get it. If you're like a super email expert and you're like, oh, Brent, you didn't go over this thing called DKIM and all that. I know you could do that, but this is a first step. Okay. All right. That'll help immediately. Now that we have that, and just so you're clear, we start sending emails. But let's before we even send emails, let me just demo like this part. When you run ads and you have an opt-in, you build the funnel. I'm not going to go into how to build a funnel. That could be a whole that's a different training, okay? But what you would do is go under sites and just know that you can build funnels. Know that you can say new funnel. You can do a template. You can hit continue. Let's say you're a coaching business and you're like, oh, I have a free book guide thingy. You know what? I like this one right here. Let me preview that. And you can just go and say continue, and you can replace this stuff with your guide and your information, and voila. And now you have a funnel that you don't have to do a menu up here, let that overwhelm you. You can go into building your funnel here. It's that simple. It literally sets up your pages. Then you just add your logo and drag and drop. Okay. So it's all drag and drop builder. It's easy. If you didn't know that existed, there you go. Cool. All right. Now you have your funnel, but on the funnel, you have a form. So let me make sure you understand that. There's little pieces. It's like it's a little bit of a puzzle, but not too bad. What's cool is you don't have to go get other tools. That's the key. So in CRMX, you're under sites. I just showed you funnels, and you need a form. And you build a form. Remember, our goal right now is not to get too technical. Our goal right now is to see it kind of merge together. I'm going to create a form from scratch, and I'm just going to show you that I can build a little email opt-in form. So let's just call a free guide opt-in. And it already has some things in here for me, like as placeholders. And I'm like, yeah, I want to ask their first name. I don't need their last name right now. I don't even want their phone number. I just want their name and email. And we don't even have to have a checkbox necessarily to agree to the terms provided, but let's just leave there. Usually this is default copy. You would want to replace this with your own copy, your terms, which means essentially, hey, we can email you and you can opt out anytime. Cool. So that's what this is. And then this button you would change, and you would have a form. You can change the button to, give me the guide now. Woohoo. So they would click that, right? So now we have our form. And what we do, all you do with this form, and I'm not getting fancy and making it, frankly, you don't really need it that fancy. But I would go back to my funnel and I would add my form to it. Let's see if I have one in here. Yeah, here's one. Here's a lead magnet thing. I'm going to open up this page. Then I'm going to add my form. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Okay, here we go. It says you don't have any forms yet because I haven't integrated it to this page. So all I have to do is click on it, and and add the form that I just see, free guide opt-in. Bam. Now, again, I didn't get fancy with it. I can make it match this page, the background and stuff, but there it is. Good. So I have my form. So back to our steps here. I ran an ad to this page that has a form that they give me to their name and email. Now, when they put their information in here, I know this sounds so basic, guys, but I've noticed I speed past this too much for some people. When they put that in there and it said, give me the guide now, guess where it shows up? Under your contacts right here. These, like, they would become a contact. That's it. You can have it tag them as a free guide download so you know that they're that person. And now let's say that's your clean email list. Let's call it that. Okay. So you have a saved contact list called clean email list. It's based off of anybody with the tag that came in off the free after the free guide. Let's just know that. I'm not going to go into smart lists. They're very powerful, but basically they're segmented lists. Hey, this is my email list that I email every week that I give them value. Remember, I talked about the 5-to-1 ratio. So this week, I'm going to send an email. So here is now how I'd run a very specific email strategy that you could do tomorrow. Okay. This is a basic one and it works really well. And it's a plain email, no fancy graphics. You don't need any graphics in your emails. It's just like plain text, white background, black text. You send the email and you get replies. Cool. So I'm going to run this as, let's say I'm going to do a different example outside of home services. Let's say I'm a business coach. And as a business coach, I'm running an event. I'm going to ask you, my goal is I want people to come to my event. And all I'm going to send is an email asking a very simple question. This is a 2-part series. Okay. So I'm going to outline this for you. And I want you to understand how I'm going to go about this. So here's the flow, this specific strategy. Let's call this the email only funnel. What do I mean by that? I'm only using emails. I'm not even going to sell this event that I'm running as a business coach. I'm not even going to take them to a landing page. I'm not going to take them anywhere on a funnel. They're not going to, I'm just sending them a couple emails. And here's what they're going to consist of. You ready? Let's change this back to white. I'm going to say email number 1 is the invite email. Email number 2, or we're going to actually wait. Did they reply? And if they did, actually, I'm not going to even ask that. I'll say replied or they did not, did not reply. I just want you to see the flow here. Okay. So this is all I'm thinking here. I'm going to send an email. If they replied, positive, I'll call it, then I'm going to send them email to the offer email. Really complex here. Wait till you see how simple this is. Good. Then after that offer email will take them to you're going to ask them again, actually, replied, positive. And then finally, you're going to email number 3, which is link to order. Got it? This is why I call it the email only funnel, because you're just it's like you're funneling them down. You're not sending, here's the key thing. Before I go into the did not reply thing here, let's assume the yes path. Yes path in my world just means, when I say that to you, that just means they said yes to each step, so we can at least illustrate something here for you. I'm going to send an email out to this list that have opted in. It's time for me to make a simple offer, but I don't offer it where I seem too salesy. What most people do is they send email number 1 out and it says, hi, I'm doing a coaching program or a fitness program or an event, or I have a special offer for your home, for solar, for this, for that. I know your home's freezing and we can help you, or you know your power bills are high and we can help you, and here's my special offer, and you throw up everything in this one email. Then you wonder why they don't reply. You might get one or two out of 1,000 people. You might get one or two to like bite on it, maybe. But I'll tell you how you can do better than that. It's micro commitments, like using your brain of how people think and how you would reply. So you're going to send a simple email the first time, get them to just simply reply back with, would you like more, essentially. And I'm going to show you an example script. I'll keep it really simple. And then if they say, yeah, send me the details, then they just gave you permission. There's a psychological thing that happens when somebody gives you permission to sell them. So first, get them to just say, maybe. What are the details? I don't know what you're even offering. That's the curiosity play. That's what you're just saying. Hey, are you at all interested in this? I can send you the details. Let me know. And then they're going to say, sure. You'll get more replies that way. And then you're going to say, great. Thanks for asking for the details. Here they are. Here's what I'm doing. And you spell it out for them. And then based off of the copy in this email, you're going to ask them to take action, but it's not going to be even to click yet. Here's the thing. I've tested between clicking on this offer email and replying. Replying is better. Okay. Another micro commitment. Hey, I'm not asking you to commit to anything right now. Just reply back and let me know if you want me to save a spot. And remember, I'm going to use the coaching, business coach example here. They're holding an event. Let me know. Nothing to reply back. This has the price in it, by the way. And then you simply ask, would you like me to save a spot? You don't need to commit to anything right now. Just let me know. What that is doing is what? They're still able to say yes without actually giving their money. And that's okay. This is how email works. This is a better conversation this way. It's kind of like you're texting somebody back and forth. Okay. And so then what they say is, you know what? Yeah, save me a spot. Great. I'm going to get your spot saved. In order to reserve it for you, we're looking to fill this up by X amount of X date. We probably will fill up fast. Here's the link to reserve your spot and put your deposit down, or however you're going to have them pay, whatever the call to action is here. Okay. So there's 3 simple emails you do. Get their reply to email number 1, then email number 2, and then finally you're like, okay, to reserve your spot, do this. Now, will everybody order? No, not at all. But I'm telling you, the stats will show you, you can test it. If you try to throw in one email all of this all together, there's a dramatic drop off in engagement and orders, the end goal, orders, people taking the main action you want them to take. Okay. So I hope you're seeing this. Do you guys understand what I'm seeing or showing you here? By the way, if they don't reply to the first email, let's go into that for a second. Then you actually send email number 2 invite, and it's a slightly different invite. It's just saying, making sure they saw it. Hey, please reply. If they still didn't reply, you send one more, email 3. And all this is basically the same email, just saying, making sure you saw this. And then once they reply positive, they all follow the same path after this. So if they do reply, they go down here, right? If they do reply, they go here. Good. So that's all we're doing. This is the email strategy that you could do tomorrow, because it's so easy to use AI and like a ChatGPT AI to write your emails, to write your offer. You just need to know what your offer is. That's it. Cool. Let me show you how you do this and make it easy inside of the good old CRMX. Okay. So let's say, well, there's 2 ways you could do this. You don't have to automate it. So the easy way is to go pre-write your emails. You can just write some templates in here. And I'm just going to pull up an email. Generic. Let's see what this one is. Let's say this is the email you're sending. No, that's not it. That's like a template. Come on now. I like this one. I think this is a plain email. I just don't want to have to build. Yeah, here's one. Okay, so let's just say this is invite 1. Okay. All this is going to say is, hey, remember we got that first name. So it'll say, hey, Bob, if it was Bob that opted in at some point for that free guide. And this is how simple I want you to think about this. By the way, this is actually a great one to send out for solar. I was looking through my contacts, see you inquired about solar a while back. I thought I'd let you know we have a special offer going right now. Do this. Is this something you'd be interested in? I might even, I like that. That's plenty short, and all you're looking for is a reply. And this is already built into your CRMX account, by the way. But still, I'm going to do the coaching example for all of you that are not in solar. And it's a good, I like giving examples outside of the traditional stuff you guys hear me talk about in home services. Let's see. I think I have a comment here. Oh, Chip, how do you build the forms or the exiting ones? Can it be edited? Yes. So the forms I showed you how to build it, I think, Chip, if you saw me do that, or the exiting ones, is that Chip? Are you saying the ones upon exit they pop up? Let me know, like the pop up exit, where if I go to leave the page, there's a form that pops up, and hey, fill this out. And by the way, yes, you can do that easily. Um, right here under your forms, you can have a pop up setting, and you can put the form in here as well. Okay. Uh, Worm. See how easy this is, guys. Drag and drop, pick my form, free guide opt in. It's right here. And then you can put some text that says, don't forget to get your free guide now. This is under your pop-up settings. I just click this button and you can say show pop-up upon exit or delay or none, right? And then you can disable the pop-up. You're like, no, 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 never mind. I don't want that. Or close pop-up on clicking outside of it. So they don't have to click the X. They can just click outside. You have settings in here. Okay. And then the width, you can say small, full page, medium. Medium's the default. Exit is the default. So all that means, guys, if you're watching, what Chip is asking is, I don't want to publish it, is this, when you load this page and I go to exit, see how that popped up? Exit means I'm going up here to maybe type in something. It sees that. So, and then you'd have like a little call to action. Don't forget to get your guide before you leave. Boom. Get the guide now. Cool. Pretty simple. Hopefully that answers your question, Chip. All right, back to email marketing strategy, sending the email invite number 1. Okay. Guys, I told you I'd answer your questions like I just did with Chip too. So I'm trying to like show you the strategy while asking or answering questions. It's kind of how I flow. So ask any more questions. I'll keep going. So this email invite, I'm going to finish first, and then I'll come back to your questions. So I'm going to send this email out. By the way, if I'm that, this is how simple. If I'm that business coach, hey, this may not be perfect verbatim, but this is pretty much how I'd write it. Okay. I'm running a 2-day event in Destin, Florida, next month. And diving into the 7 pillars of business growth. This might sound lame. I'm just giving something. I'd love to have you join us. Or excuse me, I'd love to have you. Would you like to join me? And I wouldn't even say us. You could say us. You could say that, and I'd put on a separate line. And then you could just, you don't have to say username here. I would say Brent. You don't even have to put, they already know who you are. This assumes they know who you are. Okay. You can put your company name there. You can be formal. I like to keep it this personal. Okay. Subject line, by the way, I would keep it like this simple. Right here's the subject line. I'd say, see you next month, something like that. You could just say their name, or you could say their name, meaning like you just put you saw in here. I can go like this and say contact first name. See you in Destin, or are you coming to Destin? Okay. Keep it simple. Curiosity. That's it. Don't say special offer. Come to Destin. Join the special business breakthrough event now. None of that. Okay. So you just, hey, are you coming to Destin? Curiosity. Boom. You send it. And you're off to the races. Or you say it and you're off to the races on getting this already. So that's the first email. So remember, that email is just getting them to reply positive. If they reply positive, you're just looking for those replies, okay? And they'll show up in your inbox. They'll show up in your conversation. So I'm going to save this email. The second email that I would write, and I'm running out of time, but I'm going to just say email 2, and I'll just call it the offer. I'm cloning it. You saw me just clone an email. It's that simple. I changed the subject line. And what I would do here is, because you're replying with this, I would say reply. I would just automatically put that in here. Reply to this, and then saying, and then I would say, I'd keep it like that. You don't need any preview text. And now you spell out your offer. This is what I would use ChatGPT for. And I would say, hey, I'm running an event. It's 2 days. They're going to get XYZ features. Here's the benefits. Here's here's everything they get. Here's why it's important to them. Here's everything we'll cover. And here's the where it's located. And here's the investment. And here's why we would love to have them. And all I need you to do is reply back saying, if you would like me to save you a spot. That's the offer. Okay. You would tell ChatGPT that, you give them all those details and say, write an email with this offer. Boom. Okay. And it won't spit out the perfect email. It'll just get you started. Good. But essentially, this email is, instead of, I'm going to pretend like you see a bunch of copy written in here. Okay. But right here, instead of, would you like to join me, you're going to say, would you like me to save a spot? Okay. Or a good thing to stay, I'm not going to go too far into the copy here, because this is not a copywriting class. But the copy does matter in email. Okay. So you can get it halfway right. You don't have to be perfect, but you need to get it to where it's compelling, it's good, feels personal. Good. So our subject lines are good. It gets them to open the email. The content's in there, and we're getting them to reply back. But would you like to save me a spot? Just remember, this is not showing the whole thing. Like, there's a bunch of copy in here. Okay. It's probably about yay long, because it's showing a bunch of details. And then the actual, don't put, will you save me a spot at the top? Put it right at the very end, so they know all you're asking. The call to action is, would you like to save me? Would you like me to save a spot for you? That's it. And then they're going to reply back. Okay. So remember, I sent it. They gave me, sure, what are the details? They'll reply with something like that. What are the details, or how much is it? Usually those are the things, like, send me details or how much is it? Those are the big 2 questions, but those are positive replies. That means they're interested. Okay, great. You send the offer email. Glad you asked. Here's all the details. And then you wait for another reply. This last email that you would send, I'm not even going to create that one, but essentially it would say, awesome. I'm going to save you a spot. Here's the link to reserve your spot. Looking forward to have you join us in Destin. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye. Done. Okay. And then, of course, you follow up after that, but I'm just showing you the email campaign, the email only funnel that gets them engaged with you as a business coach to actually come to your event. Good. Now you have prospects. How did you do that? Through email. This whole training's on email. I'm showing you a simple campaign that anyone can run with 3 emails and get people to buy from you. Or if your call to action, like, not everyone's in the business of buying right there on an email or signing up through an order form. It would be schedule your appointment now. Okay. Just switch it out. The call to action is schedule your appointment. It's not that hard. Just use your brain a little bit and then switch it over to the different call to action. If you don't take money because you're selling solar, or if you don't, or roofs, or free inspections, then have them sign up for a free inspection. Okay. So it's just a different call to action, slightly different offer, but it's the same sequence. And you can use the emails to do this. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to put this all together. I wrote my emails. They're ready to go. And I'm just like, cool. So I'm going to start what Brent just told me. I wrote my emails. I'm ready to go. I go to my list, my clean email list. I'm calling it. I just named these. It's not like there's one existing in your CRMX account. So don't call up our team and say, hey, I don't see my clean email list. No, that's you deciding what your clean email list is. Okay. We can show you what's a smart way to do that. But, like, First is like the people who have opted in for your free guide or anything else. Good? You follow? Watch this. This is the easy way to do it. You don't even have to automate it. You just go boom, and it selected the first 20. I'm going to say select all. Then I'm going to go right here, hit my email. Oh, there we go. Look, templates, invite one. You'll see that's it. You'll see the subject line. You double check everything. You're like, yep. Send it at a scheduled time in this case for this example. I could send it right now, send it all at once right now. And this is just an action. It just says it's just for a tracking report. Just say invite. It doesn't matter. They don't see it. It's just for you. And I'm going to invite them tomorrow. I would send your emails typically in the mornings are best, better open rates. Not always, but before noon is good. But early mornings are great. Depends on your audience. You get to know them on where they open their most emails. But I would just say a safe bet if you don't know yet, between 6 and 7 a.m. Okay. And I'm just going to be random at 7:07. Send all these emails. Okay. And then I would hit send email. I'd schedule it. Boom, done. What happens? They reply. You're looking for positive replies. Where do the replies show up, guys? In CRMX, under your conversations. It's all here. It's so easy. So look, emails show up under conversations. And look at this. So let's say this is it. The email comes in and they replied, and you're like, oh, I got a reply. And you can see it and you read it, and it's just going to be like this. This is an outgoing email, but pretend this is a reply. Okay. So you're going to see this email. And you're like, oh, cool. And guess what you do? Now you reply specifically to this person with a template. Okay. A template. Now, these ones, you need to add it here. I didn't add it here yet with my other reply, but you add your template here. Okay. But all you do is reply with your template inside of your inbox here. Okay. So you can do templates, you can copy and paste it. But either way, all I had to do is add my template in here. Boom. I have my stuff. Let's see. Oh, by the way, here, let me see if I did. Is it in here? Invite. Where was my invite to or something like that? What was it? Offer? What did I name this thing? Whatever it is. Let's say it was one of these. Okay. So my template, this is an SMS. That's why, guys. It says SMS. I gotta know my own stuff here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I had to use my email here. I can add my email template. These are called snippets. These are like the little emails. And I can have my offer that I was writing here earlier. I can just pull that template in. Boom, 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 and save. Test. Okay. So now that's going to show up for me here, and I have an email. So let me go back to this. I want to show you full circle. Sorry. I messed that part up for you guys to make it flow easy. So I'm right here. I grab this. I grab my email. There it is. Test. And I just say use template. So I don't have to even type things, guys. I'm looking for replies, positive replies in my inbox. I find one. I'm like, great. I could put it in here, and I can even override some of this thing. Like, hey, maybe they said something specific. Let's say Eva or whatever. There's this Eva, I guess. Eva, good question. Good question. Answer that little question that they asked, but they're still interested. And then I would say, here the details. And then leave the template there. You guys follow? That's how simple this is. Don't make it hard. Hit send. Boom. And then it sends the email. You wait for the next reply. Okay. Now, by the way, when you reply, you can also just, what I would do just to quickly manage these inboxes, it's a little bit manual, but it's still awesome because you get these prospects coming in. Just go like this, anybody who's positive, and star them. And so like right here, and then these you can follow up with like this. You just go to your starred, and these are all the people like that have replied positive. You're keeping track of those rather than like a ton of like replies here, because not everybody's replying positive. You might have 40 or 50 in here. It can get overwhelming at first. So what you do is you just star the people that you're in conversation with, a positive conversation. That's it. And you just work those leads until they sign up for your workshop. That's it. It's pretty simple. If you want to get fancy and put them in your sales pipeline, you work your sales pipeline, that's fine. But that's how simple I would keep this. And you're going to use email to sell more stuff. I would do that like once a month, where I do an email only offer, send that out. And once you have this built once, guys, it's so easy after that. You can clone everything in CRMX. It's so easy after that. You just offer the next thing. If it's the spring, you're offering a slightly different angle on your offer. If it's the summer, slightly different angle. If it's the fall, slightly different angle, but it's all the same thing. You're running an event in this case, in this example, and you would like to invite them. That's it. So, questions, concerns, aha moments. Anybody want to share? Because we're done right now. I'm done with this part of the training. That's how you set yourself up for email inside of CRMX and win and get results fast. So as I recap here for you, please ask your questions and I'll answer them. Just type them in. So here's the recap. We went over the basic email marketing strategy of you got to send emails with the goal of getting delivered, then opened, then replied. In this case, I showed you replied, not clicks. And that's it. Understanding that deliverability is staying out of the junk and spam, making sure you have good emails, they're not hard bouncing, and then they're getting into the inbox, right? That's what I mean by delivered. I showed you a way in CRMX to do that by going into your settings and into your email services and creating a dedicated domain. And I said mail dot. I think the example I used was Solar Pros because that was my URL I owned. So mail dot. And then I said add and verify. It recognizes it, it verifies it, and now you have a better deliverability for your emails. Please contact our team before you do this if you're not certain on how to do this. But you can go and just ask in the chat here, right? Like go to support. You can start a live chat. Hey, I'm doing this. Is this the right way to do it? Just want to verify, and we'll help you out. Cool. You can also do the tutorials here, and you can just search domain or email, and it'll actually walk you through some of this. Okay. We have step by step. Depends on what type of help you want. Good. So just know before you do that. So now you have that set up. Then now I showed you, well, we need them opened. We need to get them to reply. And then I showed you a specific campaign to easily do that without being super automated right now. Okay. Yes, you can automate it. That's just unnecessary if you haven't done the basics first. Start with the basic fundamentals, please. Get your first orders, get your first appointments booked like this. Once you do that, you're like, man, this is awesome. I would love to save a little more time and automate some of this. Yeah, you can do that. But why automate it if you haven't even proven you can do the damn thing manually? Okay. Prove you know your stuff. Prove that you can use a simple tool. Start with the basics, then get automated. Okay. You're not too good for that. I promise you. You're just a human being. Okay. We're all just like doing the basics of running a business. Even if you're running a $20 million business and you haven't done this yet, start with the basics. It's okay. You can have a team member do it, but have them start with the basics. Don't have them automate it yet. Start with 100 people on your list, send it out, test it, and be like, cool, we got some replies. Send it to another 100, maybe 1,000. And then you're like, this is working for us. Let's automate this and run it every month. Good? Cool. All right. That's all I got. That's the recap, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please use email. In order to use email, please get opt-ins. Like build your list. Don't neglect it. And while you build your list, for God's sake, please email them regularly so they expect things from you. So all of a sudden you haven't emailed them for 5 months and suddenly you just send an offer to them. Well, my friend, that's you sitting on your thumb being lazy. You worked hard and you did something cool, right? You started and you're like, hey, I built a list, but I never emailed them. Don't do that. It's so easy to email somebody once a week. AI writes it for you. Like you just have to give the AI some examples, like, hey, I need you to write an email. I'm just a value-driven email for my list about the 3 tips on how to get leads for their business if you're a coaching or consulting business. Or if you're in solar, just show them what they can do to check their roof if it's ready for solar. How to know if you have too much shading on your roof for solar. Whatever it is, just some kind of value-driven specific thing that just stays in their inbox, so they're not wondering who are you. Okay. And that as you build that relationship and as they see that, I don't mean you have a deep relationship, but they're aware of you. So that way, when you do email an offer and they're ready and it hits home with them, they're like, you know what? Now's the time. I need to reply back to Corey or to Chip or whoever's emailing them, right? And they're like, it's time. It's my time. I need to reply back. They can. Okay. So you guys follow me on this? All right. So, all right, that's email 101, but certainly with a very specific campaign, I would run that one. If you have been emailing regularly, go ahead and run the email only funnel, this one right here, and you will see results. I wish I could say I guarantee it, but I could almost guarantee it. It depends. I don't know you or your offers or whatever, but as long as you have a list and as long as you've emailed them semi regularly, at least monthly, and they kind of know who you are, perhaps, and you have a clean email list and you have at least 100 people on it, you can get real positive replies to an offer and make money right now. You just send this out. It's not hard. Good. Woohoo. No more questions, I see. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wait for about 20 seconds for you to type in your questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. While I'm waiting, if you don't know what CRMX is, you see a banner scrolling at the bottom of my screen. Go to crmxfreetrial.com and you can have a free trial and see what this game is all about. Guys, we have some big things coming out. Let me just hint this. CRMX Cash Clinics is actually going away. Dun dun dun. But it's being replaced by something even better. So each week we're going to run different trainings that are what we've had on our feedback for the cash clinics are this. We want our clients are saying we want very specific strategies, kind of like today. I said we're going to talk about how to run an email only campaign. Here's what it is. Here's how you run it and go and have fun, right? What we're also doing with these cash clinics, or excuse me, we're not even going to necessarily call them cash clinics, with these weekly trainings that we're going to be doing, is it's not just going to be me, it's going to be my team as well. And so we'll trade spots and different trainers. But here's what's cool is many of them, imagine when we say, and you're a CRMX client, we say, hey, here's a new thing you can do, or here's a thing to consider, and here's the strategy, here's the playbook, if you will. And surprise, it's installed inside of your CRMX account for you. Go customize it and send it. Isn't that going to be cool? So prepare for some really fun stuff. If you have any ideas you want us to do that you think would benefit the whole community of CRMX members, and it can be specific to you, but you think it would benefit everybody, hey, we might demo that and show it on one of the trainings, and we'll install it in everybody's account so they can use it as well, and use that strategy, not your copy. I'm talking about your strategy of if you want us to help you build that and you think it'd be good for everybody, then we will go ahead and demo that, and everyone will have access to new marketing strategies, new automations, and frankly, just everyone wins when you share like that. So, whatever you're needing in the future, let us know. Especially you CRMX clients that are watching this, whether you're watching the recording or not, you know where to go to get help in the help menu here and our support chat, and we will be here for you anytime you need us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming on another great CRMX Cash Clinic. And until next time, and look for the announcements because there's going to be some changes. But until next time, log in, get ready, like get started, use CRMX, build out funnels, put your list in there, get opt-ins, run ads and get new opt-ins, build your list of people, email them, and start getting more sales. Thanks. Have a great night.